watched a Warzone Pro and wondered how they have such accuracy and precision at pretty much all moments of the game? If they're taking on a long-range fight, it seems like they can't miss. Yet, if they decide to go more close range, they have movement and precision that it seems like you would never be able to attain. Well, the answer is actually quite simple: hacks. I'm actually just kidding, but the facts are some of you think that's what's going on, and today we're going to expose the truth so that you can improve your aim and take it to the next level. Now, in order to show you just how streamers use movement, we're going to start with the negative example of me dying. The other day, I was playing Ashika Island, and I had 5 eliminations already with a helicopter floating in the air. So I decided to do the unthinkable and throw it on top of my enemies, and actually got it down. Now, as the second enemy was there, I got an easy drop shot and hit most of my bullets. The issue is, I would eventually go down because I tried to slide directly into the next enemy. You see, getting more eliminations with your aim is actually linked to your movement and ability to make plays with game sense too. So as we continue through this guide, think about how to actually put yourselves in positions to get more kills, instead of just thinking that streamers and other good players simply aim and everything is taken care of. You see, if it was really that simple, almost everybody would be getting team wipes and dropping 20 kills, but it's not. So we're going to look at a different example here of where I play it smarter and also use really good aim to secure the team wipe. We're once again in Ashika Island, and I'm mantling up on top of a roof. Notice that I'm getting high ground, looking around, and trying to come from behind and be a little bit surprising. As I see Nicki Minaj push out, I'm able to pretty much beam Nicki, taking off all of her plates. I then jump over and use movement to strafe as I push, getting a pretty easy down. Now, if we slow down on this kill, you might think to yourself, this is some sticky aim and a little bit suspicious, CPreds. But if you keep yourself moving at all times, and in fact move your left stick, you actually get better aim and can hit more shots. Now watch again as the next enemy pushes and we slow down for a slide cancel. I'm able to slow down once again using that aim assist and that stick to get an easier kill, finishing off the enemies and looking for a minimap tank. Now I slide behind cover and go into a drop shot, making it a lot easier to hit your shots because when it's the last enemy, you don't need to worry about another one shooting you. So when you go prone, you can actually have better aim. That makes the team wipe super easy. And speaking of the best settings, I've magically put on a hoodie here because I have to talk about how sometimes I have a little bit of a secret identity. See, I have worked on my aim for so long that some people think that I have an identity as a cheater and a streamer. They think it's a Clark Kent, Superman type of dynamic, and I wish, but it's not that complicated. See, if you look at this comment thread, everybody thinks I'm cheating because in the next clip, I lock on to somebody. But after you watch this video, you're gonna see that there's not as much locking on as there is using game sense and aim. That way you can eliminate more people in Warzone, and honestly, people will probably think you're cheating at the end of this video. So in this 1v3 situation, my teammate just goes down in Ashika Island, and I decide to fly in there and 1v3 and save the day. So as the first enemy is dropping in and I'm on the roof, I put shots and I actually miss a few shots. It probably doesn't look like I'm cheating here, but I decide to slide down the staircase and push in because that guy landed in through the window. I see that jump around the corner, see him laying in the bed, and I'm like, hey, time to put you to sleep with my striker and my aim. So this is pretty textbook. You know, it's about 10 meters here. The aim is really easy. Notice that with my controller, once again, I'm strafing. So the number one thing that you should get from this video, of course, when we get to the settings, put those on. Make sure you're always moving your left stick. Basically, you're moving as you're shooting, making it harder for you to be hit and easier for that aim assist and your aim to hit the target. After I get that down, I check the mini map and I see 2. So I use movement. I slide around the corner. Once again, always moving. That way I'm harder to hit, and it actually makes my aim stickier because as I'm moving, I'm getting what's called rotational aim assist. After that, I once again check the minimap again, and this is where those comments were talking about me cheating. I slide out and start shooting. Now, this looks suspicious until you look back at the minimap and see the last ping of that guy was right there where I'm shooting. So I'm kind of hoping that I can pre-fire him. I think that he's either going up the stairs or sliding into the stairs. I'm kind of predicting that he's going to be meeting me right at the doorway as I get there. I was wrong. So I reposition, I go up the stairs, I make him think I'm running away because he obviously thinks I'm weak. I'm gonna fake the runaway, come back, easy kill for the team win. Hopefully you see in this clip that aim is just as much about game sense and how to maneuver and use that rotational aim assist as it is aim. Now at this point in the video, I know what you're thinking. I clicked for controller settings and you've been showing me all these different breakdowns of how to improve the Call of Duty. What's going on here? Well, the reality is that the best settings only work if you know how to use them. So now that we've kind of shown you a little bit of a breakdown of how to use them, we're gonna go through the settings and then show you in a private lobby how to utilize them even better. Now let's go over the settings that are gonna to set you up for success in Warzone. And the first one is one that I have since changed from my last guide. So if you subscribed and saw my last guide, this is different, and here's why. I used to have my dead zone at about 6 or 7. Dead zone is basically accounting for how much stick drift you have in your controller and adjusting it so that your controller doesn't move on its own. There's a dark side to this that I haven't really talked about and you might not have heard about. And that is that the lower that this is, the more sensitive your controller actually is. Meaning that if I crank this up to say 19 or 20, I'm actually losing some responsiveness and have to move my controller more to get more of an input. So if we lower this all the way, what it's going to allow us to do is be able to actually move faster. Now, there's a big misconception that a lot of controller players have, and that is that their controller sensitivity actually dictates how fast they can move in the game. So a lot of people think that if they crank their sensitivity all the way up to 2020, they're going to be able to move super fast and hit shots like all of their streamers that they watch. But that's actually not true. And if you play on a 5 to 6 controller sensitivity, but put your dead zone all the way to 0, this is going to help you under one condition. Now, if you look closely at my screen, I am not holding my controller and my character is moving. That white dot is moving across the screen here, as you can see, and that is going to potentially throw off my aim because I'm constantly fighting it. But what if I never take my hands off of the joystick? Then it's never going to move and I can move more responsibly and freely, meaning that I actually have a little bit of an advantage and can move faster. Now, the second that I take my hands, once again, my controller is moving by itself, and that's why I need to constantly keep my hand on the left stick, because I'm going to be fighting that movement at all times, meaning that my controller's not really going to be moving because I am constantly controlling it and moving it in the center of my screen. This is called centering, and this means that I want my controller to constantly be where I expect enemies to be, aka on the corner of where the next enemy could push from. So if you lower your dead zone all the way but keep your hands on the controller at all time, you're going to have all the benefits of a low dead zone without any of the drawbacks. Now, to make this even better, I like to pair this with a 0.85 sensitivity multiplier, in addition to the following gameplay settings that you see on my screen for better movement and overall aim, and you can pause this at really any instance that you can see everything that you want to know. Now, the only other setting that I think is really important to talk about is having dynamic aim response curve type, because this is going to give you a balance of faster movement and at the same time stability with your movements on your controller. Admittedly, if you want to be the best controller player you can, you are going to need a pro controller, and here are two that happen to be sitting over here on my desk from Aim Controller. Now, if you guys go to aimcontrollers.com and use the link in the description and pinned comments, you can get a controller with 10% off that has a lifetime warranty, back paddles, and digital triggers, which basically allow you to click faster and have less of a resistance when aiming, which is definitely an advantage in Warzone. Now, I am confident that if you follow all of these controller settings, you will no doubt become a better player and figure out that your favorite streamers aren't cheating, but are just using the most fine-tuned controller settings, just like in this video. Now, if you did get value, please consider dropping a like and subscribing because it helps in the algorithm. And as always, I'd love for you to join the Discord, join in a live stream sometime in the future, and make sure you stay tuned for our next video, which is going to talk about movement, because in Modern Warfare 3, movement is just as important as aim. As always, stay humble, stay hungry. We'll see you guys in the next one.